The Kingdom of Morocco is a royal land, a land adjoining the Sahara to which the melting snow of the Atlas Mountains brings life. Good farmland, mountain vistas, great beaches, and a rich cultural heritage attract visitors all year round. Moroccans are a proud people with a forward-looking king. A nation of Arabs and of Berbers, the descendants of ancient tribes who settled here before the time of Rome. Located on the northwest coast of Africa, where the Atlantic meets the Mediterranean, Morocco is a fascinating land. At street level, the gap between rich and poor is all too evident. For young people, the attraction of a Western lifestyle collides with ancient tradition rooted in Islam. Village life has changed little in hundreds of years, with agriculture still forming the backbone of rural society. But millions have left the countryside in search of a better life in cities. Education is highly valued, and thousands of students graduate from Moroccan universities every year. The economy is growing, yet unemployment remains high. The call to prayer echoes loud and clear across the Kingdom of Morocco, while the call to Christ, the true King, reaches privately into many homes via radio and satellite TV. New and exciting growth is taking place today in God's kingdom in Morocco. But will it last? Missionaries have worked in Morocco since the late 1800s. In the early years, some workers and many Moroccan Christians were martyred for their faith. Large groups of Moroccan Christians met and worshiped together during the first half of the 20th century and for a while after independence in 1956. After that, government authorities forced missionaries to leave the country, and the believers were scattered. By the early 1980s, there remained only a handful of Moroccan churches. And this was not the first time the church in Morocco had faced extinction. Established in the first centuries after Christ, the early church died out when Muslim armies swept across the region in the 7th century. In recent years, missionaries have begun returning to Morocco as tent makers, gaining residency based on secular jobs and through their lives and witnesses reaching Moroccans with the gospel. By the late 1980s, new house churches had begun to spring up. There are now dozens of house churches led by Moroccan Christians who have a growing vision to reach their nation for Christ. Their ministry is assisted by radio and satellite TV broadcasts that are received throughout the country, bringing the gospel to Moroccans in their own homes. In 2002, the prayer initiative Arise Shine Morocco began mobilizing tens of thousands of intercessors around the globe to pray regularly for the nation. One direct result was a new boldness of believers, not only in witness, but in testifying to their Lord Jesus when interrogated by authorities. At perhaps 1,000 known believers in fellowship in a nation of 32 million, the church is small, but it is growing. Moroccans have now written hundreds of their own worship songs in both Arabic and Berber languages. They're working on a Bible translation as well as radio and TV programming. House church leaders meet to encourage and strengthen one another. Perhaps most exciting of all, national Christians have begun to reach out and plant new churches. Western missionaries, Moroccan believers, and the growth of Christianity have attracted increasing comment in the Moroccan press. Moroccan Christians continue to face harassment and persecution, but most have come through such ordeals strengthened in their faith. God is establishing His kingdom. King Mohammed has led his nation toward greater political freedom and a growing commitment to human rights. But since September 11, 2001, a gulf has widened between the Muslim world and the West. Current events make it more and more difficult for the Moroccan government to ignore demands to halt the growth of Christianity in Morocco. Like Gideon's band of 300, Moroccan Christians are stepping out in faith in the face of great obstacles to accomplish mighty feats for the Lord. But the question remains, will it last? The future of God's kingdom in Morocco is in the balance. We invite you to join with intercessors around the globe and to weigh in on the side of God's kingdom with your prayers. You can help determine the future of God's kingdom in Morocco. The question is not, will it last? The question is, will you pray?